Hello everyone, welcome to this session. This is Renuka Devi, yours biology teacher from Bharathidhasanar Matric Higher Secondary School, Arakkonam. Today we are going to see about the description and functions of various floral parts. Class 9th, Chapter 4, Flower. Children, in the previous session we are going to see the flower and what are the parts of the flower. What is meant by flower? The modified and condensed shoot is termed as flower. And what are the parts of the flower? Calyx, corolla, androshium and gynoecium. This session we are going to see about these functions. Let's see about first floral part, that means calyx. What is meant by calyx? It is the outermost hole of the flower. See here, this is outermost hole of the flower. And each member of the calyx called sepals. What it is? Sepals. And see here, sepals usually in green in color, but in some flowers they are colored. Okay, so it looks like a petals. So that type of petals called, see here, petaloid sepals. Petaloid sepals. So in the case of petaloid sepals, it looks like a petals. So such type of calyx called petaloid sepals. And what is the example of petaloid sepals means? See here, this is gulmohar and this one salvia and this one is nasturtium. These three are the examples of petaloid sepals. So actually what is meant by petaloid sepals? The sepals or looks like a petals. So it is called as petaloid sepals, and these are based upon the position of calyx. So the second type, gamosepals. What it is? Gamosepals. Gamosepals means the sepals are fused or joined together. Okay, such types of sepals called gamosepals. What is the example of gamosepals? The example of gamosepals is hibiscus. See here, in the hibiscus, the sepals are fused. See here, the sepals are fused and joined together. So such type of calyx called gamosepals. Okay, such type of sepals called gamosepals. So what is the example of gamosepals? Hibiscus. Yes, hibiscus. 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 Okay, and what is the example of petaloid sepals? Three examples, no? First one, gulmohar. Gulmohar, gulmohar. And the second one, salvia, Salvia. Salvia. And the third one is nasturtium, Nasturdium, nasturtium. Okay children, let's see the third type, polysepals. Poly means many, no? So the sepals are free in nature or not fused together. So what is the example of polysepals? See here, this is mustard flower. Yes, mustard flower is the example of polysepals. Okay, what is meant by polysepals? The sepals are free in nature or not fused together. That is meant by polysepals. Okay, so what is the example of polysepals? Mustard. M-U-S-T-A-R-D. Mustard flower. That is the example of polysepals. Okay, then the second hole. What is the second hole? Yes, corolla. See here, corolla. What is meant by corolla? The group of petals. Yes, the group of petals called corolla. See here, this is corolla and also this is petals. Yes, this is petals. See here, this is petals. P-E-T-A-L-S, petals. And these petals usually colored and showy. But in some flowers, petals are green in color. Yes, green in color. That type of petals called, see here, Saploid Petals. And this is based upon the arrangement of corolla. Okay, so in the case of Saploid petals, the petals are green in color, so it is called as Saploid petals. Okay, what is the example of Saploid petals? See here, this is the example. This is called as viscum. What it is? Viscum. I will write the name of flower is viscum. O-M. V-I-S-C-O-M. Viscum. It comes under the sandalwood family. Okay children. So what does mean by Saploid petals? The petals are green in color. Actually the petals are colored, but in the case of Saploid petals, they are colored? No, they are green in color. So Saploid petals are called as likewise. Then second type, poly petals. What is meant by poly? Many. No, yes, correct. So the petals are arranged in free in nature or not fused together. That type of petals called poly petals. Okay, what is the example of poly petal? See here. This is mustard flower. Yes, see here how they arranged. See, this is and this one is. These are the petals and they are arranged in the free in nature. So, mustard flower is the example of poly petals. So, what does mean by poly petals? Petals they are free in nature. They are not fused together. So, the example is mustard flower. M-U-S-T-A-R-D. Mustard flower. Okay. Then, third type. Gamopetals. Okay. Petals are fused together or joined together. Okay, that type of petals called gamopetals. What does mean by gamopetals? The petals are fused together or joined together. That is called gamopetals. Okay, and what is the example of gamopetals? See here. Yes, tunio flower. Yes, tunio flower. It is the example of gamopetals. Okay, and what is the spelling of tunio? P-T-U-N-I-A. Okay, tunia flower. This is the example of gamopetals. Okay, so here the corolla is fully composed of petals and the base of the position they are classified into three types: Saploid petals, poly petals and gamopetals. First one, Saploid petals. The petals are usually colored, but in the case of Saploid petals they are green in color, so it is called as Saploid petals. And the second one is poly petals. Petals are free or not fused together. That type of petals called poly petals. And the third type, gamopetals. Gamopetals means the petals are fused together or joined together. That type of petals called gamopetals. And what is the example of poly petals? Tell me, Kritika. Yes, poly petals. The example is mustard. Okay. So the third one. Let's see the third one. See here. Third one is Androshium. Yes, Androshium is the male reproductive whole of the flower. Yes, it produces male gametes, okay, and which is composed of fully stamens. What does mean by stamens? See here. Stamens, this is stamen, okay. This is one of the stamen and this stamens are together called Androshium. Okay, Androshium are involved in the reproduction and also it is called essential whole. Okay, essential whole. And let's see, male reproductive whole, and based upon the arrangement of Androshium, they are classified into four types. What are the four types? First one, polyandrous. What it is? Polyandrous. And the second one, monoadelphous. Okay, monoadelphous. And the third one, diadelphous. Diadelphous. And the fourth one, polyadelphous. Polyadelphous. See here. First, the Androshium composed of stamens. No, what are the structure of stamen? Let's see. See here. The structure of stamen. This is the structure of stamen. Stamen is mainly composed of three parts. First one, filament. This is the filament. This is the filament. See here. F-I-L-A-M-E-N-T. Filament. Yes, the stalk of the stamen is called filament. F-I-L-A-M-E-N-T, filament. Okay, see here. The filament bears the two lobes like structure. What it is? Two lobes like structure. That lobes called anther. What it is? Anther. A-N-T-H-E-R. Anther. Okay, and inside of the lobes, two chambers is present. Two chambers are called pollen sacs. What it is? Pollen sacs. See here, these chambers are called pollen sacs. P-O-L-L-E-N. Pollen. S-A-C-S. Pollen sacs. Okay, inside of the pollen sacs, powdery granular structure is present. That structure called pollen grains. Yes, that structure called pollen grains. Pollen grains will produce the male gametes during fertilization. Okay, this is pollen grains. See here, this is the structure of pollen grains. P-O-L-L-E-N. Pollen. G-R-A-I-N-S. Pollen grains. Okay, it involves in the reproduction, and during the fertilization it will produces the male gametes. Okay, this is the structure of stamen. And another one, three structure known. One is filament and another one is anther. So the third part is connective. See here, this is called connective. C-O-N-N-E-C-T-I-V-E. Connective. So what is the function of connective? See, the connective which involves in the filament with attached to the anther. Okay, so the anther attached to the filament with the help of connective. Okay, what is the function of connective? The anther is attached to the filament with the help of connective. So these are the parts of the stamens. Okay, so what are the parts of the stamens? Three parts. First one filament, and the second one is anther, and the third one is connective. Okay children, now let's see the next part. See here, already seen the Androshium fully composed of stamens. Okay, based upon the arrangement of Androshium, they are classified into four types. No, what are the four types? Polyandrous. What it is? Polyandrous. Poly means many. And in the case of polyandrous, the filaments are free, and it arises from the thalamus. What is meant by thalamus? Yes, thalamus is the swollen tip of the pedicel. Yes, swollen tip of the pedicel. And in the case of polyandrous, the filament are free, which arises from the thalamus. Okay, and what is the example of polyandrous? Yes, so what is the example of monocarpellary? Pea and bean. Okay, pea flower, P-E-A, pea flower, and another one example bean, B-E-A-N, bean flower. Okay, and the next one type bicarpellary. Bi means two. So, which is composed of two carpels. It is, bicarpellary. Bi means two, which is composed of two carpels. So, here it is composed of two carpels. C-A-R-P-E-L-S, two carpels. What is the example of bicarpellary? Yes, this is mustard flower. M-U-S-T-A-R-D. Okay, mustard flower. Okay, so what is the example of bicarpellary? Mustard flower. And the next type, polycarpellary. Poly means many. So easily we can understand which is composed of more than two carpels. It is composed of more than two carpels. So what is the meaning of polycarpellary? Which is composed of more than two carpels. More than two carpels. Okay. C-A-R-P-E-L-S. Mono. So, more than two carpels in the case of polycarpellary. Okay. So, these all are based upon the number of carpels. Okay. Let's see about the further divide. See here, the gynoecium is further divided into two types. First First one, apocarpus. What it is? Apocarpus. So, gynoecium is fully composed of corpus. In the case of apocarpus gynoecium, which is composed of the corpels are free in nature. What it is? The corpels are free in nature. And what is the example of gynoecium? In the case of apocarpus gynoecium, the example is rose. Yes, rose is the example of apocarpus gynoecium. Okay, in the case of apocarpus gynoecium, the corpels are free in nature. And the next one, syncorpus gynoecium. What it is? Syncorpus gynoecium. This, in the case of syncorpus gynoecium, the corpels are fused. Okay, what it is? Fused. So, in the case of syncorpus gynoecium, what is the example of syncorpus? China rose. China rose is also known as, yes, correct, hibiscus. Yes, the example is China rose. China rose or O-S-E, China rose. This is the example of syncorpus gynoecium. Okay, so based upon the presence or free or not. It is based upon the free or not of corpels. It is divided into two types, apocarpus and syncorpus. Okay, let us see. See, now what are the functions of floral parts? Main function of calyx is protection in the stage of bud condition. See here, what is the main function of calyx? Yes, the main function of calyx is protection. T-I-O-N, protection. And it is green in color, no? Sometimes it is involved in the photosynthesis. What is meant by photosynthesis? Yes, manufacture of food materials for the plant. Yes, what is the main function of calyx? It involves in the protection and also it involves in the photosynthesis. And the second one, corolla. What is the function of corolla? It is showy and colored, no? So, it involves in the pollination. It attracts the insects for the pollination. And sometimes in the budding condition, it encloses the essential hole to provide the protection. Okay. So, what is the main function? Pollination and another one, protection. In the protection only during the stage of bud condition. Okay, and the androshium. This is male reproductive organ. So, it involves in the fertilization. So, main function is fertilization. Yes, fertilization. And gynoecium, yes, this is also fertilization. The gynoecium also female reproductive organ, no? So, it also involves in the fertilization and it produces the female gametes. Okay. So, these all are the fertilization. Okay. See here, these all are the functions of floral parts. Okay, children. Now we are all end of the session. Students, now we are at the end of the session. In this session, we are discussed about description and the functions of floral parts, and for further reference, I have attached the study materials, question bank and self-assessment. Do the self-assessment and go through the study material and please check it out how much you understand the concept. Thank you, children.